Good morning, warriors, and welcome back to Jump into Crypto, episode 219. Today is Thursday, August 2nd, and I'm King. Again, Bitcoin Zay is gone. I think he may be joining us tomorrow for Friday. I think this guy's been taking a 2-week break, so make sure you give him a hard time when he gets back. Jamal J from NY, what's going on? John Siebert, Blockchain Shuja, peace to you. Good morning, everyone. Let everybody flow in as they do. We'll announce the free Satoshi winner from yesterday. And the winner is Alcove 4. If you remember, we asked, hey, what other industry or what other way would you like to see blockchain technology incorporated into our lives? And they said, in terms of supporting suppression of corruption, blockchain can help some very charitable countries. He mentioned the Netherlands, but I know the US does it. A lot of countries that donate millions of dollars to developing countries to track and monitor exactly where the funds went. This is actually a big problem, huge problem, centered actually around the central banks where, you know, everybody's donating money, especially in times of disaster, relief, or right here, as Alcove said, to develop countries who are working on charity projects. But a lot of times these funds get sent to these countries, and we know that some of the people in power there don't give it to the people all the time. Sometimes the politicians keep it for themselves, or whatever group received the money, they would keep it to themselves and spend it on lavish gifts. So they're saying, hey, let's use blockchain technology to track these donations when we do send them to developing countries or countries in times of need, so we can see exactly where those funds go. So great answer. We didn't receive your public address, so if you can send that to us, we make sure we get you those free Satoshis. Thanks again, and shout out to Achilles. Your answer was pretty good as well. It was about tracking diamonds on the blockchain. I think because De Beers owns about 35% of diamonds, and they still suppress they suppress the amount of diamonds out, or they withhold the amount of diamonds out to suppress the price, or to make the price go out of bounds on it. So that was a good answer as well. It's me, Boss Lady. Hey, me, Boss Lady, of course, is holding down the art industry and crypto. What's going on? Malik Howard, good morning. BTC Pro, what is going on? Good morning, good morning. Marcellus Love, Minho Donahue. Good morning, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, let's get to it. Top story. So this kind of was breaking yesterday. I didn't want to report on it too early before got some more information, and it looks like not too much more information has came out. But this is a top story, very important. $460 million of Bitcoin loan has been liquidated on OKEx, but not filled. So for those who aren't in the trading space and have no clue what I just said, you know, we talk about margin trading all the time. BitMex is a big one because you can margin trade times 100. You can do it on OKEx as well, but you can long or short trades, which means, hey, I think the price of Bitcoin is going to go up in the next month or 2 days or even the next hour. So I'm going to borrow money that I don't have, and I'm going to trade long, hoping this price goes up. So if I borrow times 20, then it's almost essentially trading with 20 more or 20 Bitcoin. If I just had one, I would borrow go long on 20 times trade. That means I'm basically trading with 20 Bitcoins, even though I only have one. And those, of course, the boundaries, the balances you have before it kind of goes out of balance, you get liquidated, determines, depending on how much money you've been borrowing or margin calling on it. So they went long on this, or you can go short where you say, hey, I think the price of Bitcoin is going to drop, so I'm going to bet against it. I'm going to short it, and you can make money that way as well. Well, it looks like the largest contract holder, the number one contract holder at OKEx, had accumulated about $460 million worth of Bitcoin in a long position before he was liquidated July 31st. The problem, though, is when he was liquidated and the long position was called, that only $420 million, or excuse me, only $40 million was filled. $420 million worth was not filled, according to a report by an unnamed co-admin of the trading platform Wellpool. The liquidation of some 950 Bitcoins was such a big order that for OKEx to sell them on the market would effectively crash the market. That's their thoughts on it. OKEx does have basically an insurance fund, an insurance pool if this does happen. I don't know if this is true, but reports are saying the insurance pool only had 10 Bitcoin in it, which right now that would not seem like a lot. But if it was in December, I can kind of see, all right, 10 Bitcoin was enough to kind of cover some insurance for some of the smaller calls. But for something this big, for it to be called, At the price, it looked like I caught it about $8,000. So they're trying to figure out what to do. OKEx hasn't said anything. They're quiet. One of the plans they may go ahead with is for everyone who shorted on that platform, who essentially made money. They're talking about taking 50% of their profit away to cover this bet, since they can't fill it. Now, the obvious issue, of course, is they can't fill this this call. If they were to try to sell it, then the market definitely would take a dip. I think they're waiting to see if Bitcoin can climb back to $8,000 or above in the next few days. In fact, I'm sure that's what they're doing. That's why they're not saying anything. They're not making any moves. They're waiting to see if Bitcoin can come back to 8K. This is something, without telling all my business, I have a lot of experience in, because when we've traded and stuff in the past, and we have our numbers marked at whatever number it is, $14,000 of Bitcoin, 15,000, 20,000, and then that price slips $3,000 to $4,000 more, and we're planning to do certain trades with, hey, we have all this Bitcoin, this is the price point we had at, but now it's slipped $3,000 or $4,000 less. It's a huge gap you have to fill up with, and sometimes the best bet you could do is like, hey, let's just sit this thing out for 2 or 3 days and see if this price can rebound and we can continue forward with our plan. And if it doesn't, then yeah, you're about to take a serious loss. So that's what's going on right here. Again, this is going to be a big deal depending on how they figure it out. I mean, if they're lucky, it's only Bitcoin's with $500 away. Where are we at right now? $7,400, $7,500. So we're about $500 away from hitting that 8K mark again. So we can hit that again. All be well. They would literally dump the books, or try to get rid of it as quickly as possible without making that price dip too far. But that will happen, so they have to do it slowly. But if we don't, I mean, this may be the end for OKEx. Like, this is something where traders will not want to stay on your platform, as you see here, where you're going to give away 50% of their profits because you made a mistake or because you can't cover a bet. Then the trader has to suffer. No, they're going to pick up and say, well, we can just go to BitMex. We can go, to Binance now. We can go to so many different places. I mean, honestly, this is how places like Poloniex will come back and will come back popular, because they would say, I don't know, we have to go somewhere. This certainly isn't a place to be. So traders are angry. OKEx isn't saying anything, and there's still $420 million that is out there that needs to be filled. So we'll see what happens. We'll keep covering the story. I'm sure by next week we'll get some more information. I think they'll be okay, only because this just happened. I believe the 31st it happened. They got called on July 31st to August 1st, sometime that late that evening, early morning. And one things we've said, for a while now is at the end of the month, the trend is Bitcoin prices drop. I'm assuming it's because people are selling it. Yeah, you got to pay bills, you got to pay rent, you got to do all this stuff. So when that price did just dip and they couldn't fill it, it may be because it happened July 31st. So I'm thinking, hey, they might be right. Let's give it until the weekend. It's Thursday right now. Let's give it until Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We get a price action around there sometimes, and let's see what happens. I think worst case scenario, they might have to figure everything out at about a $7,500 mark. Best case scenario is that it does climb back up over $8,000 in the next 3 to 4 days. So again, we'll be monitoring this, but depending on what happens, it will affect the market. If they have to unload all this at a lower price point, then it's definitely going to affect the market in the short term. And then talking about some business on the business end of things, if I was BitMex, if I was Coinbase, if I was another exchange and OKEx was my competitor, I am doing everything in my power. I'm calling up every whale I know, and I am trying to suppress this price, because I want this price to stay below 8K. I want your traders to suffer. I want this guy to not be able to get his money back. I want OKEx to look bad if I'm another exchange, because that means one less established exchange to worry about. And that could be what's happening here as well. I mean, this is business, and again, we always talk about the show, billions X capital. These are the type of high-level moves execs at that level make. You're talking about billions of dollars. I'm going to do everything possible to try to, I mean, it's actually surprising me places like Coinbase, who have a political action committee, aren't throwing money at PR sites right now, or PR organizations, to blow this story up and to literally drown OKEx, to have that regulatory, US, SEC, everybody come down and say, hey, how is this even allowed to happen? How did this happen in you guys' backyard? So from a business standpoint, this is the time for another exchange to strike and to try to destroy them, honestly. And if I were another exchange, I would definitely do. I would go for their throat on this. So we'll see what happens though. It'll be very interesting. P-Man Van, what's going on? Let's see. Jamal J said the founder of this scammy Diamondback crypto wanted me to be on his board. Might just get down and get out. Be careful. John Sieber said it'll be interesting to do margin trading once USD does not exist in Bitcoin as a unit of count. It's going to be very interesting when that happens. Gia, good morning. Good morning. Yep, Blockchain Shuja said they got it. They're just scrambling. That's a $500 million. So I'm with Blockchain Shuja on this as well. They definitely have it. I think they have the money as well because they wouldn't allow this person to accumulate a contract for this long. They didn't think they could pay it off. Unless they were already in hot water to begin with, they just kept trying to just snowball and snowball and snowball. But I agree with Blockchain Shuja. I think they have it. As they said, they're just scrambling, and because that's $500 million, they're not trying. Come on, who's trying to? There's no business out there. I don't care how up you are on the year. You're not trying to pay back $500 million to anybody. You're right about that. So I can see them saying, no, let's stall it. Let's stall it. Because again, as a business, I've been on this side of the business in crypto where this is actually happening. Yeah, you want to stall it as long as possible to say, let's stall it, see how much money we can get back before we have to go out of pocket on this thing. So we'll see what happens. Again, it's an interesting story. Good news, BitMex launches Ethereum futures with 50 times margins. Again, we just talked about margin trading, so if you're new, you kind of get a little bit of what it is. But it looks like BitMex has launched Ethereum and USD futures earlier today, Ethereum USD pair futures day. Again, didn't really announce it. They're right. They said without much of an announcement because I really didn't hear about it either. I saw it on Telegram earlier and looked at the story. Around 11 a.m. London time, they made that announcement that allows traders to go long or short Ethereum with the requirement of just 2% in initial margins. That translates to margins of some 50 times, meaning that with just one Ethereum, you can take a very risky bet of 50 Ethereum. So same thing I was just telling you about longing and shorting bets, or excuse me, trades. And of course it said, which would probably quickly lead to your liquidation. Yeah, if you go 50 times margin, I mean, you're going to have a very, very small window of opportunity. So you really need to know what you're doing before you just start to click on that. So yeah, it looks like the Ethereum USD pair has been added. That's pretty cool for BitMex. Originally, you had to have that Bitcoin Ethereum pair, but people were saying it's pretty difficult to arbitrage and hedge out of the platform where Ethereum is concerned. So that's why they get that dollar pair added to it. So good stuff for BitMex. Good to see them moving forward with that. Coinbase adds British pound support customers to buy and sell crypto via UK banks. So that looks like that's the theme of the day right now, which is good. It's one of the things we talk about when we say how technology progresses is during the quiet times. Nobody's talking about it. This has been a quiet week for cryptocurrencies. Not a lot of news has been coming out. But yeah, this is the time when these companies make their upgrades and all that. Nothing else is going on. They pushed it forward. So this new feature will enable Coinbase customers with UK bank accounts to conduct faster transfers, letting customers buy and sell crypto for pounds within the same day. It looks like prior to adding this GBP support, the process of buying or selling crypto for fiat took several days for the company's UK customers, requiring them to first convert their crypto into euros and then into GBP via international wire transfer. So yeah, that is a lot. If you have to go, if you have to convert it into euros and then do a wire transfer or vice versa to get money on the exchange or off it, I mean, you're dealing with traders here. And again, I don't know why any serious traders would be using Coinbase. But if you are one of those that are using it and you're trying to do all that, first of all, you're going to lose money. You're losing money in the wire transfer both ways, going there and back. I mean, that's easily an international wire transfer. I mean, you're easily looking at about 2 or 3%, 6% total, actually, you're talking about there and back. So 6% or whatever money you're putting in the market. You're talking about buying and selling on exchange. Again, you're about to take a hit on the percentage there. And then converting it, if you have to convert it from euros to the dollar, you're definitely taking a hit as well. So when it's all said and done, you may be taking upwards of 9 or 10% hit just to move the money. And again, this is why crypto is here, because no one wants to lose 10% of their money just moving it. That's ridiculous. We have the technology. We don't need to take that type of loss anymore. So I mean, kudos to Coinbase for figuring that out and getting it done, because the UK Western Europe in general is big in the crypto scene. And yeah, we want to make things a little bit more fair for them. So congrats on everyone over there. Square's Bitcoin integration turns $37 million in revenue in QT Q2 2018. And kind of like Torrance J Playlist said, yes, it is a slow day. So actually, if you're in our digital assets group, you already know. It's funny, I swear that some of the writers on these sites are actually in our group and they're not telling us, because we just covered Square 2 or 3 days ago as for our business spotlight, Square's Cash App. But it looks like they're in the news now because they generated over $70 million in Bitcoin revenues in the first half of 2018. The company revealed in a quarterly report to the US SEC. This is important, of course, for the obvious reason that the market has been down this year. The market has been down. You still got the dinosaurs squawking about, and you still have companies turning out good revenues in a bear market. So wait until they see what happens when the bull market hits, people. This is why we have these bullish indicators, and we still feel positive about this year ending strong, because these new companies are making a lot of money in crypto in a bear market. It looks like, yeah, total revenue for the company for Q2 was $814 million. So of course they did a lot of good stuff already outside of crypto. But Square caused a stir in February when it rolled out Bitcoin buy and sell functionality to almost all users of its Square Cash app, with reactions suggesting clients have been waiting for the option. Well, clearly, now that we see how much revenue got pulled in from it. So yeah, so they're working on regulatory hurdles. This article kind of goes on to say being banned from Google and Facebook, of course. But again, the big story here is the fact that they were able to pull out $37 million in revenue just from their Square Cash app after they added the crypto to it. So again, it shows the positive aspects of cryptocurrency. It's an easy marketing ploy. People want to be able to buy and sell it, at least take a peek at it. And companies, this is like that blockchain stimulus package we talk about. Just by offering it, you're already winning. So shout out to Square for that. And last but not least, big story again, Reddit was hacked. Reddit got hacked. I'm sure a lot of people heard about it. It was announced Wednesday that a hacker broke into the computer systems in June, gaining access to the email addresses of some of its users in a database of usernames from 2007. I actually saw another report that said from 2008. So between that time frame, company right now hasn't said how many users have been affected. Not too many details have come out. But yeah, if you've been using Reddit for that long, it looks like, or really if you've been using it at all, if they had a hack, because again, this hack happened in June. One of the things we talk about, hackers will go, hack a database, and they'll sit there. They only sat there, it looks like, for a couple months right now, or at least until people found out about it. But I mean, sometimes they'll sit there for years if they need to. They don't want to show you their exploit. They don't want to use it until it's worth it. So if you're a Reddit user, it might be a smart idea to go ahead and change your password. I'm not sure if you can change your username if you want to, but definitely change your password. And change your password to other things you're using too. If you use the same Reddit username and password on other services, I know how people do it for Facebook, Google, everything's the same. So you might want to change it. But again, this is big for the crypto community because Reddit, of course, has a big crypto community on the platform itself. So a lot of people are using it. That's how it applies to us here. So make sure you are changing those passcodes. All right. Again, short show, people. It's been slow with the news this week. For the free Satoshis today, let's get your thoughts on what do you think OKEx would do. Give us your thoughts. Let us know why you think it. A few sentences. You know how it is. You can make it funny, make it serious, however you feel. Add that public address, and I will give the free Satoshis to the winner tomorrow. We announce the winner. Again, what should OKEx do? Or what do you think they're doing? What's their game plan right now? Other than that, people, you have a happy Thursday. I'll see you tomorrow in the week strong. We'll see if that price does turn back around to 8K to give these guys a chance to save me a few dollars. But if not, we'll see what happens next. All right, cheers.